Sammy, Hagan, Charles, and all the guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Science Park. I guess most of you might have watched the World Cup soccer game last night. 4 years ago, Germany won the World Cup in Brazil, and they mentioned about big data analytic technology. So what is going to happen this year, 2018, in Russia? Will the winning team claim that they are using blockchain or some open source technology to win the game? Perhaps, But again, welcome to Science Park. It's a great day out there. I encourage you, if you got time, stroll around Science Park, take a walk. You may notice the audio quality systems in these auditoriums are pretty nice. Indeed, I'm quite pleased to let you know that the audio optimization solutions provided in this auditorium is by one of the park companies in Science Park. It is called the Xspatial. Typically, it is a 4D psychoacoustic solutions, and it is being used in many of the cinemas in the mainland and around the world. So again, I hope you will enjoy this, not just the talk today, but also the technologies behind enabling all these great presentations later on. Perhaps I'll spend a few minutes just to share a little bit with you about the Hong Kong Science Park. I was out there talking to a few of the exhibitors and noticed that some of them are startups. And indeed, this is a place for startups. One of our main objectives here is to nurture startups and help them to grow to become the size of a unicorn. Today, we have about 670 companies in Science Park, roughly about 13,000 professionals working in here. 45 of those companies are incubatees. And then another 45% are small, medium-sized company, and the remaining 10% are the multinationals. It is our true belief that we need a mix of people, both the industry veterans, entrepreneurs, as well as young startups, students, graduate students, engineers, to work together. And at the same time, to have multinational firms, small, medium-sized company, and also the startup communities to create technology ecosystems. And this is where you can find in Science Park. Now we focus in a number of areas. Of course, open source, software, blockchain, Linux are some of our focus area. And on top of that, we translate these technologies and solutions into 3 very important platforms. One of them is smart city, and the other 2 are robotics and healthy aging. They are very much related to what we are doing here, because all your open source solutions, all your developments will contribute to work the smart cities development. I would also like to share a little bit with you about the software community in the park. I met exhibitors earlier. They mentioned they are in PMQ in downtown in Hong Kong Island. I encourage them, to get more involved in our ecosystems. There are about roughly close to 300 software companies in the park. And some of them are doing a number of things, including what I've shown here, the AI, the IoT connectivities, the fintech, the blockchain, cybersecurity, and also data analytics, etc. And one of them you might have heard is SenseTime, who's the first unicorn, technology unicorn from Hong Kong. They focus on facial recognitions as well as computer visions in the space of artificial intelligence. Indeed, it is a Hong Kong company set up by a professor from Chinese University of Hong Kong. Indeed, he has been teaching and working in Hong Kong for quite like 20 years, and then he published a lot of paper. And then about 3.5 years ago, he gathered around roughly about 12 of his former students who were at that time working for companies such as Microsoft, Google, and Baidu, and they came together and then they started a company in the Science Park. And throughout this early day of the journey, and until now, and in the future, we are working very closely together with them. And most importantly is they choose, even they become a unicorn, they choose to remain their R&D and their headquarters in Hong Kong, providing a lot of career opportunities with the local students, and also at the same time willing to work with the Hong Kong community. This is also our goal, to nurture more companies, whether they are startups, medium-sized firms, local companies, or overseas companies who choose to carry out their R&D and who choose Hong Kong as their base to the next level. Charles mentioned earlier about the Science Park set up a data studio to support the shared data as well as open data. In fact, we've been working with the community and also working with a number of private enterprise to encourage them to share data. Well, we understand that in order for these companies to share data, there must be an objective. So we work with them and through the process to bring in developers, the development communities to work with them to specifically to co-create and to innovate with data. I think this is an important subject. I have a slightly different point of view. Not all data are meant to be open. However, with a specific purpose, with a specific focus objective, data are encouraged to be shared for a good cause. So this is something that we would like to leverage the facilities in Science Park to work with the communities through the process to create not just the technology solutions, but also at the same time to create something that is beneficial to the society. And that is also part of the objective of the smart city, the smart region that Science Park is implementing. Now, for a smart city, we require good infrastructures. And now, throughout the past 12 months, we have set up a number of facilities in Science Park to create the environment. The number one, in February last year, we set up a data studio to encourage to co-create with data. And then also we set up a sensor hub. As you know, sensor is a critical component, the electronic components, which will be able to collect information, to collect data. So we've created a sensor lab and sensor hub to support the development of different types of sensors, especially the MEMS-based sensor. And then also in the middle of last year, we collaborate with S3, the R&D center, research center located in Science Park, to set up a 5G application test bed, which is currently in a laboratory environment, providing a 5G simulated environment for developers who require high throughput, who require low latency to support their development and the subsequent testings of their solutions under a laboratory environment. And we are also in discussions with various technology providers, and we have a plan to set up a outdoor 5G application testing environment very soon in Science Park. And also at the same time, we are also working with our neighbor, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, to turn the campus of Science Park and CUHK into a smart region. So there will be a number of initiatives that we'll be rolling out. And about two months ago, we've also featured a number of technologies that could be used in the smart lamp pole. In fact, through the process, we also discuss and invite several government departments to come in to discuss with our technology providers. And through the process, we've came up with two good positions. Number one is using the radar sensing technologies for people counting and vehicle counting. With that, we are also planning to work with different stakeholders to look into setting up a dynamic demand and supply transportation solutions. And we plan to have it showcase, trial, and implement in Science Park first. And at the end of the day, we would also like to introduce to the general public and to be implemented across Hong Kong. So again, stay tuned. We'll have more about this to be announced soon. Lastly, I believe you are very familiar with Hong Kong government's plan in terms of setting up a Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation Zone in the Lok Ma Chau Loop, which is close to the Shenzhen River, but on the Hong Kong side. So the loop, the park will enable and facilitate a free flow of people, information, goods, capital, and more important is to accelerate as well as to support the innovations between Hong Kong and Shenzhen. I think it is a good opportunities for us to get prepared and take advantage of these opportunities. Now, with that, without further ado, I would like to again congratulations to the organizer and wish this forum and these 2 days very successful. Thank you.